Breaking news tonight, no deal. All the major players in the same room for the first time since the shutdown began nearly 2 weeks ago. President Trump prepared to let it go on.
As long as it takes. I mean, look, I'm prepared. I think the people of the country think I'm right.
Neither side budging on the president's border wall demands after U.S. authorities fire tear gas at migrants allegedly throwing rocks at the border. War of words President Trump unleashes after fellow Republican Mitt Romney's scathing attack on him. Disturbing videos. Children at a border shelter appear to be kicked and shoved. Dramatic call for help. A woman trapped, her car overturned in a watery ditch. How she led rescuers to her. Deadly joyride. The crash caught on camera.
He took my mother's life away and he has to pay for what he did.
A 14-year-old pulling pranks, now charged with a mother's murder. The cost of hundreds of prescriptions going up in the new year. What you need to know. Growing scam. Americans bilked out of millions. How to protect yourself.
This is NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Good evening, everyone. It's great to be back with you. There was movement today in the effort to fully reopen the government. Unfortunately, none of it seemed to be in the direction of a deal. President Trump met with congressional leaders, but first making it clear he is not budging from his demand for $5 billion in border wall funding. Democrats holding their own, too. The impasse now into day 12 with the president showing no urgency to end it. Our Hallie Jackson starts us off tonight.
A Situation Room briefing on the border tonight that went nowhere.
The president asked us to come back on Friday.
Neither side is budging.
We would hope that they would reconsider.
The president's reiterating he wants more than $5 billion for a wall.
The $5.6 billion is such a small number. Literally, it's a month. It's 1 month in Afghanistan. And we're talking about national security. This isn't just a border. This is national security.
But Democrats don't want to give a penny. Nancy Pelosi with Savannah Guthrie.
If you and the Democrats don't meet halfway, if you don't compromise, then why isn't the shutdown partially your responsibility as well?
It has nothing to do with us. It has the president saying, I will hold 6 agencies of government hostage to my campaign promise that I was going to build a wall and that Mexico was going to pay for it. That is so ridiculous, A. Mexico's not paying for it, A. And B, we have better use of funds to protect our border.
If this standoff keeps going, so will the partial shutdown.
As long as it takes. I mean, look, I'm prepared. I think the people of the country think I'm right.
But hundreds of thousands of federal workers won't see a paycheck until the government reopens.
What do you want to do?
Like air traffic controller Matthew Craviotto in North Carolina. He has a savings account, but
it's almost depleted. That was my rainy day fund, and it rained.
For his part, the president's focused on the border, where this week, U.S. officials tear-gassed a group of migrants. Customs and Border Protection says agents aimed at people throwing rocks at them, not at migrants trying to cross into the U.S. Multiple sources tell us Democrats made clear to the president today they will move to reopen government tomorrow when they take control of the House, but the Senate plans to reject it. So we are left tonight with not much progress and not much consolation for federal workers. Lester.
All right, Hallie Jackson at the White House. Thank you. And President Trump also firing back after a scathing attack from fellow Republican Mitt Romney, leading some to ask, could Romney challenge the president in 2020? This as the field of potential Democratic candidates grows. Our Kristen Welker has more.
Okay.
Tonight, President Trump saying there's one reason Democrats won't give an inch on the border wall.
We're in the shutdown because of the fact that the Democrats are looking to 2020.
But could he face a Republican challenge, too? Incoming Utah Senator Mitt Romney writing in an op-ed today, the president has not risen to the mantle of the office. President Trump firing back.
If he fought really hard against President Obama, like he does against me, he would have won the election.
Today, Romney insisting he has no plans for a showdown against the president.
No, I'm not running again.
On the Democratic side, former San Antonio Mayor Julian Castro says he'll announce his decision Saturday. And the biggest name so far to signal she's running, liberal firebrand Elizabeth Warren.
America's middle class is just getting hollowed out.
But getting mixed reviews over this Instagram the day of her announcement.
Hold on a sec. I'm going to get me
up here.
Critics calling it inauthentic pandering to younger voters. Kristen Welker, NBC News, Washington.
Let us turn now to the American being held in Russia, accused of spying. The U.S. ambassador there finally allowed to visit him today, and his family says he is anything but a spy. NBC's Hans Nichols has the latest.
Tonight, American Paul Whelan getting his first visit from U.S. Embassy officials in a Moscow jail, a relief for the former Marine's twin brother.
I think we're still just trying to make sure that Paul's taken care of.
But questions remain about why he was arrested for espionage.
I'm 100% confident that Paul was not a spy.
Whelan spent 14 years in the Marine Corps, but was discharged in 2008 for bad conduct after being court-martialed for attempted larceny. A background experts say doesn't match the profile of a spy.
It's very unlikely that the CIA would use someone like this. First, he apparently had a rocky tenure in the Marine Corps. Second, he also had no diplomatic immunity.
His family saying he was only in Russia to attend a friend's wedding. Hans Nichols, NBC News, Washington.
Netflix is under fire for pulling an episode of a show in Saudi Arabia that criticized the Crown Prince for his alleged role in the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. NBC's Andrea Mitchell has more on the growing controversy.
Saudi Arabia outlawing an episode of Muslim-American comedian Hassan Minhaj's popular Netflix show, slamming the powerful Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman for the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi.
Just a few months ago, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, a.k.a. MBS, was hailed as the reformer the Arab world needed. But the revelations about Khashoggi's killing have shattered that image.
Now in a controversial move, Netflix pulling that episode of Minhaj's Patriot Act, saying it has to comply with local law. Saudis can still see it on YouTube. Minhaj responding sarcastically on Twitter, writing, "Clearly the best way to stop people from watching something is to ban it, make it trend online, and then leave it up on YouTube." The Crown Prince, with the support of President Trump and his son-in-law Jared Kushner, is defying worldwide criticism over the slaying.
Anyone who knows anything about Saudi Arabia certainly knows that Mohammed bin Salman bears primary responsibility for the murder of Mr. Khashoggi.
All this horrifying Khashoggi's friends.
Saudi Arabia right now is acting like a rogue nation, a rogue state that has no respect for the rule of law, for human life and dignity.
But the Republican Senate has already put the White House on notice. If the president won't punish the Saudis, Congress may force him to. Lester?
Andrea Mitchell, thanks. Prosecutors in Arizona are considering criminal charges over shocking videos that appear to show migrant children being abused at a facility tasked with helping them. NBC's Miguel Almaguer now with the disturbing tapes.
The video of migrant children appearing to be dragged, shoved, and manhandled is now in the hands of prosecutors. The incident could lead to criminal charges. It happened at the Youngtown Hacienda del Sol shelter ran by nonprofit Southwest Key, which operates 24 shelters for unaccompanied immigrant minors. Recorded in September, the video was recently released by state health officials who blurred some of the images. The Federal Office of Refugee Resettlement, which oversees shelters for migrant children, suspended operations at the Youngtown facility in October.
Southwest Key tells NBC News it fired several employees, adding they do not in any way condone the behavior and have taken appropriate action in response.
But tonight, this video is in the hands of prosecutors. Miguel Almaguer, NBC News.
A new reward is being offered in the manhunt for the gunman who killed a 7-year-old girl. Authorities and her family today asking the public for help solving what they call a senseless random shooting. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez has more for us from Houston.
Her family says Jasmine Barnes' life was summed up by her T-shirt, Live, Love, Laugh. Tonight, there's an all-out manhunt for her killer.
For this man to come out this parking lot and fire off shots at me and my kids, we're totally wrong.
Her mother is now out of the hospital after being shot in the arm. She told us she was going to get coffee early Sunday morning with her 4 daughters when a red pickup truck pulled up next to her and a man started shooting.
That my baby was an angel in disguise, and I'm going to be leading the charge until I get justice for my baby.
A $50,000 reward is now being offered to help find the gunman. Sheriff's deputies here are looking for that red pickup truck captured on surveillance video.
It does definitely seem to be random. However, we're not tone deaf to some of the concerns that there could be a hate motive to this.
Jasmine's family is now begging for the public's help to find the man who took this young girl filled with joy. Gabe Gutierrez, NBC News, Houston.
Also in Texas tonight, the tragic case of a 14-year-old boy charged with murder after police say he got behind the wheel to pull pranks with his friends and ended up killing a 45-year-old mother. Our Ron Mott with that story.
Tonight, newly released surveillance video shows when 3 Houston teens' New Year's Day joyride turned deadly. Police say the unidentified teenagers were throwing eggs out of an SUV when the teens say a driver flashed a semi-automatic weapon and started chasing them, causing them to broadside a pickup truck, killing 45-year-old Sylvia Zavala.
They pulled the lady out of the car and she was dead on sight. It was just horrific.
Police say the 14-year-old driver ran a red light and hit Zavala's car going at least 60 miles an hour.
Yes. Happy, independent woman.
Leaving the single mother's family devastated.
I feel bad, right? Like I do, but he took my mother's life away, and he has to pay for what he did.
The teen behind the wheel has been charged with murder, and police say the driver who chased after the teens but did not stop after the accident is cooperating. Investigators say the teen driver took his father's SUV without permission. Ron Mott, NBC News.
Drug companies are greeting the new year with price hikes on hundreds of medications. The soaring cost of health care is one of the biggest worries for American families, and we'll be covering it all year here in our new series, Your Money, Your Life. Here's Ann Thompson.
Bitter pills this new year for Americans taking prescription drugs. 60 companies raised prices on almost 300 drugs in the first 2 days of the year, including Humira, Armour Thyroid, and OxyContin. Price tracking firm RX Savings Solutions says the average hike is 6.3%, nearly 3 times the rate of inflation.
Drug companies raise prices simply because they can.
For David Mitchell, the outrage is personal and professional. Mitchell needs almost $300,000 worth of medicine a year to stave off the blood cancer multiple myeloma. And he leads Patients for Affordable Drugs, fighting high prices.
Pain of high drug prices does not know a party. It does not know a region. People are hurting, and they want the elected officials in this country to make changes to get this drug pricing situation under control.
Today, President Trump promised action soon.
We've gone through a big process, and I think you're going to see a tremendous reduction in drug prices.
It worked last summer when Pfizer and other manufacturers delayed price increases at the president's urging until this month. The industry trade group says spending on medicine is increasing at its slowest rate in years.
What is actually paid for a medicine, the net price of the medicine, is actually much lower than the initial list price because of the discounts and rebates negotiated in the marketplace.
Lester, we reached out to some of the largest manufacturers and the industry trade group, and none of them gave a specific reason for the price hikes, instead emphasizing that consumers will get discounts and rebates, but exactly how much depends on your insurance and if you have insurance at all.
Ann Thompson, thank you, Ann. Now, a consumer alert about a new and scary phone scam. Imposters calling with a fake story about your Social Security number being compromised. And so far, Americans have lost millions on this one. NBC's Tom Costello has one victim's warning.
Chris Hall was home when she got the call.
As we have received suspicious trails of information in your name.
An automated voice claiming to be from Social Security.
We will have to issue an arrest warrant under your name and get you arrested.
Then, connected to a man with a foreign accent, she was told a drug cartel had stolen her number and she should act fast to protect her money.
And that if I didn't go to the bank and get all my money out, that my account would be frozen and I wouldn't be able to have any money.
It just sounded real.
It did. That's what bothers me, is that they're so good.
The scammer even stayed on the phone as Chris drove to her bank and withdrew $1,500. She then came to this convenience store where she was told to use this machine to take her $1,500 cash and deposit it into a Bitcoin account. Her money was gone forever. It's a new twist to an old scam with a lot of new victims. In 2017, 3,200 victims lost $209,000. But in 2018, 35,000 victims lost $10 million.
The truth is that incredibly smart people fall for this scam
every single day.
Often tricked because scammers ghost their phone numbers to look like a real government agency.
Thank you for calling Social Security.
That is the real Social Security.
Right.
If you get called, the FTC says hang up. The real IRS and Social Security don't call demanding money and threatening arrest.
I should have stopped myself, but I was scared to death. I mean, he really made everything sound legitimate.
An expensive lesson as Christmas bills come due. Tom Costello, NBC News, Baltimore.
3 passings to tell you about tonight. Daryl Dragon, one half of the musical duo The Captain and Tennille, has died. Dragon teamed up with his then-wife Toni Tennille for 70s hits like Love Will Keep Us Together and Muskrat Love. Dragon was 76. Sad news tonight for pro wrestling fans. Gene Okerlund, the WWE's iconic backstage interviewer and announcer, has died. Nicknamed Mean Gene, Okerlund held his own beside some of wrestling's biggest personalities. He was 76. And also tonight, actor Bob Einstein, the funny man from Curb Your Enthusiasm, has died at the age of 76. Einstein was also known for his character Super Dave, who made so many laugh over the years with his own show and late-night appearances. Just ahead tonight, her car overturned in water. But hear how one woman was able to lead rescuers to her just in time. Then how a streaming thriller became one of the most talked about movies of the year. Next tonight, the dramatic rescue after a woman became trapped in a car overturned in a watery ditch in Florida. NBC's Kerry Sanders now with her harrowing 911 call.
A moment of crisis.
There's water getting in the car and I can't get out.
20-year-old Amanda Antonio on the phone. Her car flipped over in a watery ditch.
I'm freezing.
Okay, how deep of water are you in?
Well, now it's up to my chest.
Fearful her 911 call might end at any moment.
I'm so scared.
Her battery at 5%.
It's getting deeper.
It's getting deeper?
Yeah.
Deputies still don't know her exact location.
Is someone here yet?
They're getting close, ma'am, okay?
Yeah, please hurry.
Antonio realizes they may not reach her in time.
I can't get the window.
Then she has an idea.
Let me see if I can look on my Google Maps.
She gives that information to the operator.
Hello?
16 minutes after the call began,
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
rescuers find her.
I didn't think I was going to make it out.
Antonio credits the dispatcher with helping her stay calm.
I definitely did not want to be the last person that she was able to talk to.
Tonight, she's safe with her family and grateful. Kerry Sanders, NBC News.
An amazing, amazing story. Coming up, the streaming sensation that's now a social media phenomenon. Bird Box is the hit Netflix movie that has taken over social media feeds, driving millions to watch. Here's Stephanie Gosk and what's behind it.
The Netflix movie Bird Box had to be a blockbuster.
If you look, you will die.
Sandra Bullock, imminent death, the end of civilization. Did I mention Sandra Bullock? Netflix released the movie on December 21st. A week later, the company said it was breaking records. Suddenly, Bird Box was all over social media. Look at me. There's even a blindfold challenge now. Netflix recommends not trying it for safety reasons. So when Kim Kardashian posted, "I really like it," who's seen it? She got this reply. Everyone, Kim. Literally the only thing people have been talking about. All of you have seen Bird Box. Yes. What did you think? Mixed review. There are disagreements over whether or not it's any good. But let's be honest. What does that really matter now? Stephanie Gosk, NBC News, New York.
That's NBC Nightly News for this Wednesday. I'm Lester Holt. For all of us at NBC News, thanks for watching and good night. Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.